Puck Reports. I'm your host, Jay Stevens. We're just so lucky to have the opportunity to introduce you to some of our players for our new NHL team, our yet-to-be-named NHL team. Today, very special guest. Josh, I can't believe I get to talk to you first. Josh Doan from the Arizona Coyotes. Josh, first off, thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
What should Utah fans know about you? What style of hockey do you play, and what do you think your role is going to be on this team?
Yeah, I think as a younger guy, I'm a high compete kind of player. I think that my competitiveness is my strength and has allowed me to get to this point in my career so far. Someone who's gonna be in on the forecheck and be around the net and try to make things happen. I think my goal is to be a guy that can kind of bring energy next year, and that's kind of what I'm working towards right now.
Okay, so that's what you're going to be in the NHL. Let's talk a little bit about, like, you're an Arizona guy. And the reason that I said I can't believe I get to talk to you as one of the first players is because I think you have, like, the most compelling story, because your dad is Shane Doan. You've grown up in Arizona your entire life. First, can you tell us a little bit about the impact, like, the Coyotes had on your life and in that Arizona area?
Yeah, I think it grew the game a tremendous amount, and to see where it's come now and the amount of kids you have playing in the NHL and high level pro is pretty cool to see, and that's one of the parts that's exciting to see how it's going to develop the game in Utah when we get there. It's one of the things where when you put an NHL team or any major league sports team in a city, the game's going to grow. You look at Vegas and how they've been doing, and it's one of those things where the Coyotes changed hockey in the desert, and now it's one of the things where to see how it'll change Utah will be exciting.
Yeah, and Arizona's got a pretty impressive roster of players in the NHL right now. People that were born and raised in Arizona and that are now in the NHL. Pretty amazing. But yeah, so, like, you grew up in Arizona. The only time you really left is when you played in the USHL. Is that right?
Yeah, I went to Chicago for 2 years. That's about it.
And then right back to Arizona State. Tell us a little bit about, so you got to kind of be a member of a first few year NCAA program. What was that like?
Yeah, it was awesome. Right away, you could tell the support from the university, and then from the fans in the area, and ASU is such a big school. They got support across the country. Wherever we were playing, there was always ASU fans. So that was a really cool experience, and to get an opportunity to play in both the new rink and the old rink was something special and just to be a part of a growing tradition. Like, you get to be a part of all the first and be a part of a group that gets to do the first road games, first road sweeps, first home wins and stuff like that is definitely something that's fun to be a part of.
Yeah, now you're going to have the same opportunity to do that for a brand new NHL franchise. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's exciting. I think it's one of the things we're heading into. You got to be excited with the fans and with the whole state, because it's going to be a fun year.
Yeah, I think we got to give a shout out to John Loeffner too, your equipment guy there in Arizona State, who is a longtime Utah Grizzlies equipment guy too.
Yeah, John's the man. Now he's with the Sharks though now, so we can't give him too much credit.
Oh no, I didn't know he moved. All right. So tell me a little bit about the first time you may have heard a rumor that the team might be moving, and then when did you hear it was possibly going to be Utah? Like, how did you hear about it, and how did that affect you?
Yeah, it's one of the things where growing up in the Valley, I kind of heard about it for 15 years of my life that there's a chance they're going to move, and it's one of those things. It's kind of like, yeah, and you're hearing about some of the cities you're going to, and when we found out Salt Lake was in the mix, I think of all the cities, that was definitely the top choice, and then once we found out we were moving, it was a little bit of a shock that it was happening, but there's a lot of excitement to go with it about an opportunity to play in a new location and to play with a group of guys still that you've been with, and you're gonna go as one, and it's one of those things where it's different and unique, and not a lot of people get a chance to do it. So I think it was one of those things where we were all pretty excited to see how it was going to go.
How did your family take it, especially with your dad being an Arizona legend? And, like, what was your first conversation with him like? Hey, like, the team's moving, and the legacy that you had here is temporarily moving. Like, he's always going to be a legend, right? But what was that like?
Yeah, it was a weird conversation to have. We were on the road when it all kind of went down, so I called him, and he was, I mean, he was excited and disappointed, obviously, that Arizona was losing a team, but excited for the new opportunity that the NHL was going to grow in a new state. And he saw obviously what happened to the Valley once got a hockey team. So to see what it could do in another state, and just the growth of the game with the chance that Arizona was going to get a team in a couple of years back is kind of the outlook I think he took on it, is just to be positive about it. And he went through the exact same thing when he was my age, about moving from Winnipeg to Arizona. So, and he says the greatest thing that ever happened to him. So it's one of the things, we're going from Arizona to Utah has a chance to be something special. And that's kind of the mindset we took.
I think it's kind of ironic too. It's crazy that it happened to both of you, and that it's crazy because the other team rumored to have been possibly coming to Utah on our end of it was Winnipeg again. Like,
Yeah.
so it's just kind of one of those things. You had an unbelievable end of the season, and I just want our fans to share your first NHL game. And can you just kind of walk us through getting called up and what it was like to have your dad in the stands, and tell us who the shirtless guy was, and kind of talk us through all that little, like, from the call up.
Yeah, I got called up when I was in San Jose with Tucson, and we were out for dinner with a bunch of the guys, and I got a text that I needed to pick up the phone pretty soon, and Bill Armstrong called me, told me I was getting a chance, so I called my parents, and they're pretty excited. And so then I flew back with the team and drove back from Tucson up to Scottsdale when we landed in Tucson the next morning, and then I went home. I stayed at home for the whole time I was up, because it was either that or a hotel, and I felt more comfortable being at home with my family. And after that, I drove to the same rink that I grew up playing in, and did morning skate and practice, and then went back to the Mullet for my first game where I played college, which was a weird thing to do, but it was definitely unique. And then it was just fortunate that my mom's sister and her whole family was in town for just visiting, and they decided to extend their trip a little bit longer for my first game, which is where the shirtless man came from. He's my uncle, and,
Okay.
we're pretty close. So he said if I scored, he was going to go shirtless, and he fulfilled his promise, that's for sure, a couple times. So it was pretty cool to see. But it's one of those things where it's just surreal to get a chance to play any NHL game, and for any NHL team is something you dream of as a kid, and to get a chance to do it in front of all my friends and family is something I'll never forget.
So what was that first goal like?
Yeah, I mean, I missed a breakaway right before, so it was like, I got really like antsed up about having a breakaway, and then I didn't score, and I was a little bit frustrated. And even my dad, like, there's the video of him like getting up to walk out, because he's like, he knew how upset I'd be, because he thought the play was going the other way. And then I got a good stick on a puck, and it went up in the air, and just kind of whack at it and hope you can get a good piece of it. And it went in, and it was a weird, like, weight off the shoulder kind of feeling, where there's nothing like it in the game.
But that first goal, I mean, that's some amazing hand-eye coordination, and that's just an amazing way to score your first goal. And then your second goal later in the game was that was unreal, like a great tip. And did you start thinking, like, maybe I'm going to get a hatter on this one?
Yeah, I think there was so much going on in my head. Some of the guys were giving it to me that I have to try and get one, but I'm like, I just don't want to make any mistakes right now. That was my main point. Make sure I get pucks in deep and don't turn anything over or cost us the game, because it was only a 3-2 game at the time. So I had a lot of other things on my mind, that I think that was probably the last thing I was thinking.
Well, I guess I didn't even think about that. So you got the game-winning goal.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, your story is amazing. This just all of it, from having your NHL team have to play in your old college barn, which was new and nice. I got to go to a game there this season. It was unreal. And I don't know. It's just so crazy to watch you grow up. And like, we all respect your father, and we were all rooting for you, even though you're in Arizona, we don't really have a team yet, but I think most people in Utah were like just behind you and supporting you and excited about your story. It's so cool. It's so unique.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's been quite the journey. It's been a weird one, but it's been fun.
So tell us a little bit about, like, you don't get to come to Utah for the meet the team day on the first day because you're back in the AHL playing in playoffs, right?
Yeah. So they sent a couple of us back down for playoffs, and it was obviously really cool to see the guys getting off the plane and see some of the clips of the guys in the arena was something that was cool to see the support there. But yeah, a couple of us weren't able to make the trip.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was going to ask. What were the highlights of what really stood out to you watching those clips on TV or on the news or whatever?
Yeah, I think the first one of just all the people being there when they got off the plane and seeing the support from all the local hockey kids that they're getting an NHL team. Like as exciting as it is, as an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old to be getting an NHL team after playing years of hockey is got to be a pretty cool experience. So it was cool to see their excitement to see guys like Kells and Schmaltzy come off the plane and big name NHL guys that they probably grew up idolizing and now get a chance to cheer for them as their team was cool. And then seeing the support in the rink and seeing some of the Jazz players come out and support and just kind of see the community as one show up for the guys was really cool.
Yeah, I was really blown away. And you talk about the 8 to 10-year-olds that are excited to get one. There's a lot of us 50-plus-year-olds that are just pretty excited too.
Yeah.
So have you been to Utah before?
Yeah, so that's I've driven through Utah every single year since I was about 8. So our cabin up in Canada is the halfway point of Salt Lake City. So every year we go through it about 2 or 3 times a year and stop in there. That's usually our stop, and it's beautiful. So it's been ever since I've been a kid. I've driven through it and loved it. So
have you had the opportunity to ski or snowboard in your life?
no, I'm a terrible skier and snowboarder, and that's like my mom's biggest pet peeve because she's amazing at skiing and grew up in the mountains, but all of us grew up in Arizona. So I can ski. I'm just not good at it.
Okay. And then obviously you're not going to be able to ski while you're here playing because players aren't allowed to ski, right?
Exactly. So, I mean, I'm not too upset about it because I'm not that good at it, but it'd be cool to do.
What other kind of things are you looking forward to doing in Utah? Because it's going to be a different, we're going to have 4 seasons for you here while you're here. Are there other things you're looking forward to in Utah?
Yeah, I think it'll be the first time I'll have 4 seasons in my entire life. So it's one of those things that I'm excited for. I like to be outside and do things outside. So to kind of explore and go around, I got a big dog. So me and him will go out and go for hikes, and I'll take him around. He's built more for the snow than the heat, so he's pretty excited, I think. And it's just one of those things where I'll explore, walk around, go see the mountains. Obviously, it's beautiful when you look at the city and the mountains in the background. So it's one of the things where I'll make my way around and see what I can find.
Yeah, there are a lot of opportunities, and there are a lot of good hosts that'll love to show you around. There's just everybody has their own secret spot here. They like to hike or fish or rivers and lakes. We've got it all, so we're excited to have you. I don't know how to say it, but I just want you to know how welcome you are. I know that your family is deeply rooted in Arizona, and I know this part is kind of crazy for you, but man, the fans are so excited here to have you, and I feel horrible for the fans, and I feel kind of bad for everything else that's going on with the Arizona fans and the fan base and the ownership and everybody in the front office. But I just want to find the best way to make you guys feel welcome and feel like you're part of our family now, and we're excited to have you as part of our team. Are you feeling that vibe already?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Obviously, we're like as an Arizona kid and growing up in Arizona and being with the fans here, it sucks that they're losing their team and everything. But just from the beginning, it's been open arms from the people in Salt Lake City and Utah, and the excitement that they've had. Like it's one of those things where it changes the vibe of a city, adding another sports team and adding some more excitement and to be a part of that and to feel it from you guys and everyone a part of the organization and the people helping us move out there has been super surreal. Like it's one of the things where you kind of have to step back a little bit and just enjoy it because it's something that you'll never get to experience again. And that's part of it where we're all thankful for the support that we've all gotten from everyone in Utah. And I expect there to be a lot of support still coming from Arizona with the fans there. As much as it stings right now, it's going to be one of the things where it's another team that's still close by. It's a state away, so I think it's going to be a fun experience, and we're all excited to get started.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's just more of the Josh Doan cool story, like to be at Arizona State early, to be able to grow up and play in your home state for so long, and then to be part of a new NHL franchise. It's all pretty cool. Did you hear about the new practice rink that they're building for you guys?
No, I've heard speculations, but I haven't heard exactly what the plan is yet.
Yeah, there's an announcement the Smith Entertainment Group made that they were going to build a double sheet, at least a double sheet, with a full practice facility on the inside, and it's going to be attached to one of the malls right off the freeway. So you basically, it's 15 minutes from the rink or from the Delta Center. So I just wondered if you had any thoughts on that, how cool that is that you're already getting an amazing upgrade as far as like your practice facility.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that talk with the Smith group, that they've came right in and shown that what they want to get done, they're going to get done, and they want to help set us up in the best way that's going to give us a chance to win every night. And that's just another thing where they talk to us about doing something like this. And obviously we expect great things from anything that he does. So the expectations are high with how well that rink's going to be done and the facilities that we're going to get when we're there. So I think it's one of those things where we're all really excited that anytime there's talk about something getting done, we're pretty excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, he seems to be pretty exciting to be around. I mean, he pulled this off. It was pretty, he got us an NHL team. It's been pretty amazing. All right, before I let you go, I gotta know: do you have you seen the list of names, and do you have a preference on what the team's going to be called? What's your top 4 votes?
I think my top 4 was the Yetis. I think that's a cool one. I like the Venom just because Utah being the Beehive State or
yep.
So I was like, all right, well, we got to maybe mix that in. The Outlaws was cool, and then I probably threw like the Mammoths in there just for fun because it seemed pretty funny if that was the team name.
Yeah, I think those are like the top 4 overall that we're hearing. I think Mountaineers is getting thrown in there, but Outlaws seem to be really kind of taking a lot of movement here.
Yeah. I think whatever it is, it'll be cool. I'm excited to kind of see the design to whatever they decide to go with.
Yeah, I can only imagine seeing the stuff that Smith Entertainment Group's put out there. I know it's going to be entertaining. I'm down for getting a tattoo the day it's announced. I'll get the logo tattooed. I'll buy the jersey. The first day I met Ryan Smith, I was wearing a Golden Knights pullover, and he said, "Oh, we're going to have to change that." And I said, "Bring me an NHL team, and I'll wear the underoos." So I guess I guess I got to be held to that.
Yeah, there you go.
So we don't care what you guys are called. I mean, we do care, but we're just excited that you're going to be here. And Josh, we are looking forward to seeing you play, and we're looking forward to just cheering you on and just adding to the story of Josh Doan and how cool your life has been. Welcome to Utah, my friend.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I can't wait to get started.
All right, and that is the Utah Puck Report. I want to give a special thanks to Chipman Roofing. These are hockey people supporting the hockey community. It's Chipman Roofing. For all your roofing needs, just check out chipmanroofing.com. And if you like what you hear on the podcast, please leave a review, leave a rating. Wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure you give us a rating. Like to check out kslsports.com as well. There's going to be more hockey on there. As more hockey comes up, it's going to be always right there, kslsports.com. Big thanks to Madison Miller for putting up with us and making this thing work.